Hey yo, it's time to roar, get loud, let's ignite. Jeremy B in the house, we keeping it tight. Every weekday at 11, we ready to ride. Lions Talk Live, come and join the pride. Waking up early, it's that morning grind. Tune in to the show, leave the troubles behind. Jeremy B's the king, with the voice like thunder. Every word he spits, it's a lyrical wonder. Got the lions around, sharp and fierce. When we hear one pride, you can't help but feel your heart pierce. Talking all the topics, keep it real, keep it raw. With a lion's mentality, we're ready for the roar. One pride, it feels right. Jeremy B bringing the heat, morning light. Every weekday at 11, we taking flight. Lions Talk Alive, yeah, we ready to bite. One pride, hear us loud. Jeremy's in the zone, making us proud.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good afternoon, that's right, it is Lions Talk with Smokin' Jeremy B. Last night we feasted on the Ravens. If it wasn't for a late touchdown, it'd have been a 2-score win. Yes, let's get into that right now there, guys. But happy Victory Tuesday. Wow, what a game. Moonscar's in the house. Yes, and let's get into this. My preview article, total points, I said the Lions had scored 45 and the Ravens had scored 31. That means I only missed the total score by 6 points, technically. It really wasn't a shootout. Oh, that's supposed to read 30. Why did that not show up? I hate this damn keyboard. I know. Yes, it was. But I felt like it was going to be a 45 to 31 game, and it ended up being 38 to 30. So I got 1 to the good on the Ravens side, and I was technically 7 over. That's 6 over the entire total score. Yes, they did. And I want to talk about a specific play. It was brought up by a Ravens fan that they loved. They'd never seen anything like it. It was, we put, no, he didn't have 6K. I just got home. The past hour voice is gone, but who gives a damn? That's right, Michael Huck. If you could be there, it had to be amazing. I fixed it. I said 30 and it came out the other. I just edited it on the banner. I meant 38-30. This keyboard sometimes gums up and doesn't put it in. Yes, we had 7 sacks. They had none. Victory Tuesday. I want to. Did you guys hear the audio when Amon-Ra scored that touchdown? But before the game, let's talk about those professionals on ESPN. Look at this. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Who'd they pick? Every single one of them. Who'd they pick? Not a single one of them picked the Lions. A travesty to be that wrong. Let's talk about Monty. Yes. Professionals. Yes. I said it was either going to be a close game with the Ravens win or we would win by 2 scores. It ended up being a 1-score win, 8 points to be exact. Yes. Let's see that video because I have it.
Touchdown, Detroit. What a throw and catch.
He like It's all good. We could be underdogs and every game gives us more heat. Yes. What a win. That was my view of that touchdown. That's awesome. Everyone picked Baltimore. The whole pregame about Lamar. Let's talk about that because I want to talk about a specific play. We stunted the defensive ends and DJ Reader and dropped Pat O'Connor into a QB spy. The running lane opened. He was right there to tackle Lamar for a loss. Oh, I say he's a top 3. I've said he was a top 3, and I'm sticking with it. He's a top 3 wide receiver in this league. 100%. Yeah, Monty had some trash talking too. It was amazing. I loved it. Let's get into it. My 3 stars of the game right here. I got to move that banner off of there. 12 carries, 164 yards, and 2 rushing touchdowns. Good Lord, that's a lot of yardage. Helped my fantasy team out a lot. Jared motherfucking Goff, 20 of 28, 202 passing yards, 1 touchdown. What can you say? He was only hit 5 times and sacked for nothing. We did get good news this morning, though, but I want to give it to our entire defense. 6 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, 1 fumble recovered, 2 fumbles forced. All right. Muhammad played great as well. Well, Davenport actually comes back in 4 weeks. He hit the 4-week IR this week. He's not out for the season. Yes. German heritage. Yeah, I did. It was great. I don't know if you could hear how loud that stadium was making it. Yes, it was. It was very loud, and I knew it would be. I knew it would be. Right. That one did bother me too. I know. Um, 3 of those were actual sacks where it was created in the pocket. 4 of them was him holding the ball too long, where he had it for 6 to 8 seconds trying to run around, taking 10 steps drop. That's not good for your offensive line. Holy shit, Rudy Johnson died? Rest in peace, sir. But here is the news. Ian Rappaport has placed pass rusher on the injury report. He's out 4 games. It's a grade 1 strain. It is not a tear. So that's good. He doesn't need surgery. He'll be back in 4 weeks, which means he'll probably play in 6 because he get 1 to 2 weeks after coming back from the IR to get back in the swing of things. And by that time, Muhammad should be the starter, and he should be exactly what I thought he should have been if we'd have got Zadarius Smith. Depth. But that opens a hole on the roster. We can make a signing. Bring back Nate Lynn. Put Nate Lynn with Muhammad. That way, when Hutch has to go off the field, we got somebody that can get pressure. But that play that I'm talking about, Pat O'Connor being in the spy, he didn't even engage the O-line. He stepped back and he watched, and the hole opened up. Lamar tried to get through it, and he just stopped them for a 1.5-yard loss. That was a huge play. Calvin Shepard actually ran a spy on 20% of the offensive plays because Todd Munchin did it. Defense played a great game. Yes, our D played. Sure, we gave up some points, but 7 sacks. Henry only 66 yards and a forced fumble. That was one of the AFC Super Bowl contenders we watched. Yes, and just for you, Bill, Jim. As soon as this thing fires up, I got something for you. All I gotta say is, there she goes. I'm still angry with the Patriots running game. We need to bench Stevenson this week after he had 4 fumbles. And speaking of fumbles, yeah, J-Mo played well as well. But let's talk about King Butterfingers Henry. He's had a fumble or more in every game. He had 2. He had one, and Lamar had one this game. He had one that almost cost him the game versus the Dolphins, and then he had one that did cost him the game in the Bills. Who? What do you think about TA? And disciplined by Dan? Not much, just enough. She was screaming last night at the TV freaks. Crazy thought. Ravens and Chiefs, one team will be 1-3. Yes, I do think TA played awful, but at the same time, our front 7 was good enough that we didn't have to worry about the back end as much. Yes, he gave up yards. Yes, he looked awful. He's a second-year guy, not a third-year guy. I know he was a first-round pick. I know he was considered the consensus best corner in that draft, and we all heard all the hyperbole, and we bought in and traded up for him. But at the same time, you have to give a cornerback 3 years to develop. Not everybody has a first year. Not everybody has a first year or even like Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner doesn't look like his rookie year anymore. The Jets are 0-3. Say what you want. The Jets are over 0-3. That might be a move. Or I don't like Rock Ya-Sin on the outside, even though he's played it before. I would consider moving a meat, but that means you got two corners that are 5'7" and taller. Because Reed's short, he's short, and our biggest guy would end up being nickel. We know Rakestraw's not back this year because of that torn pec. He had to have surgery. He's out. There's nothing we can do about that. But that means he has next year for put up or shut up. That's exactly what that means for Rakestraw. Yes, he does. And, we heard all offseason how he had taken the step to the next level. We haven't seen it on the field. And I'm going to talk about that. Practice. Yeah. Good to see you, brother. We seen this. Never saw that out of AG. Which team is 0-3 and which team's 2-1? Even Ben Johnson had a win before Aaron Glenn, and we all thought that Aaron Glenn would have the earlier success first because he's more suited to be a head coach. But I think the biggest mistake that Aaron Glenn made was going with the rookie offensive coordinator. He should have went with a veteran offensive coordinator being a defensive-minded coach. And I think that's part of the growth issues, having Tanner Engstrom with a rookie head coach, a rookie defensive head coach. Yeah. And 4 times it was due to the fact of us running spies. 3 times it was because he couldn't even get out of the pocket fast enough. Hutch, Muhammad. I mean, there was a plethora of guys that got in there. I haven't even looked at the individual stats because I was so excited to write the article. I had to write article. Ken and Ken gave there's hardly any correction. They looked a little pale. Packers fans a little scared now. Should they be? Yeah, probably. But we lost our coordinators and our all-pro center. We're going to look like shit for a long time. Robbie, the mistake was AG going to the Jets franchise. It's cursed. Probably. But we ran a spy for 20% of the plays, whether it was Grant Stewart, whether it was Jack Campbell, whether it was Derek Burns, whether it was Pat O'Connor. Sometimes it was Muhammad. Sometimes it was Hutch. It was smart. That's the way you're supposed to run your defense. mixed it up. We ended up with 7 sacks, 4 sacks off the spy, 3 sacks in the pocket. How many times did we hit Lamar? I seen one time he got hit 3 times before he was sacked for the fumble by Mr. Aiden Hutchinson. It was great. It was absolutely great to see. Jared Goff efficient. Yes, it was a beautiful thing. You know what? Beating the Lions week 1 or losing to the Browns week 3, which looks worse? Oh, yeah, I agree. He was probably the coach of the game. We need to be yeah, I know. The Browns can't be taken lightly, but we haven't given up. Yeah, losing to the Brownies. But we're going to that stadium, and that stadium is gonna be rabid. Joe Flacid got a win versus the Packard. Woohoo! This was a statement win, no matter what anybody says. How disappointing. Only 7 sacks on Sparkle Tooth Jackson. He's never been sacked more than 5 times until last night. He's 2-1 versus NFC teams. Guess what? We're the team that beat him. Oh, we can beat all of them. Will we is another question. There's no reason why we can't beat any of them. The way this offense is humming, we scored 52 points and now 38. Granted, the first game was the anomaly of coming out flat and no preseason start for our starters. Yeah, Ford Field is going to be loud when we get to our home game. 100%. I think my house is cheaper than Lamar's grill. Oh, yeah. But we did get good news on Davenport. Look there. Ravens looked lost and confused last night. Yep. Oh, 100%. If the defense plays like that and the offense is humming, they will lose. But it is what it is. He's out for 4 games, but should be back quickly after that. So, like I said, I think it's about 6 weeks before we see him return. But he already had a week off in between. So it may be as soon as 5 weeks from now he comes back because he's already had a week off. But it did not require surgery. It was not a season ender. It was exactly what I said. It was a strain of a pec. It wasn't even a full tear. It's a grade 1 strain. Oh, 100%. I think Muhammad will take over as starter, and I think he'll end up rotational. I've said that as soon as I saw this. Ravens didn't look lost. We beat their ass. But again, look at the picture closely because King Butterfingers Henry. I don't think the Ravens played as bad as the mainstream media keeps excusing him for. Lions just balled out all 3. Yeah, I know. I agree. I think it's going to end up being either Muhammad or Hassanin as the starter by the time Davenport gets back. Because remember, we got Hassanin coming back soon. I think week 4. Motown Mitch in the house. He didn't have many yards, but he had touchdowns. I'm going to look right now because I had them both. Let me pull this off of there, and I'll go get the stats for you. Gibbs had 22 carries for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. David Montgomery, 12 for 151, a 12.6 average. That's his net yards because there was some, but his total rushing yards was actually 164, but he had 13 yards where he was tackled behind the line. King Lion said that we have no monarch here. Take that shit back overseas. Amen. Yeah, I know. It was great. My only question is, where's Broski? Dogged me hard for saying we could beat Bolt. I know he dogged me too. And I told him why. And with Matabuke and Kyle Van Noy, and I said that Patrick Ricard would be a big reason why Derrick Henry isn't running the way he should. Yeah, I know. That would have been great. That would have been great. Our leading tackler was one Mr. Jack Campbell with a sack. Number 2, 5 total tackles, 1 assisted, Brian Branch. Number 3, Derek Barnes, 4 tackles, 2 assisted. Number 4, and there's 2 of them tied with 3 tackles. That's 1, El Kadeen Muhammad, 3 tackles, 1 assisted, 2.5 sacks. Kirby Joseph, 3 tackles. Terrion Arnold had 2 tackles and 1 assisted. Hutchinson had 2 tackles, no assisted, and 1 sack, plus a forced fumble. Amik Robertson had 2, DJ Reed had 2, Zach Cunningham had 2, Anelzone had 1.5 a sack. Trevor Nowoski got in the sack total. DJ Reader had a tackle. Tyrone Lacey had a tackle. Rock Yassin, Khalil Dorsey, Jake Bates, Sion Baki, Grant Stewart, and Thomas, as well as Pat O'Connor, didn't get credit for anything. Yeah, I know he had the difference. What a B-Bear dude. There's another bright spot last night. Yes, they did. Like I said, Jack Campbell was our leading tackler. Yeah, we saw that where he gets bowled over and gets called for a targeting. It wasn't targeting, but it was a similar type of penalty. It sucked. Let's talk about kick returners. Khalif Raymond had a 30-yarder, and Jake Sailors, the guy we brought up because Netflix was out, had 3 returns in the kick return for 80 yards, 26.7 average. You know who didn't have a return? Grant Stewart. It's only illegal to jump over the center. You can jump between the guard and center. You can jump between the guard and tackle. You cannot jump directly over somebody, but if it's between them, like over their hips, is where you can jump. You can't use your hands to propel yourself. That's in there. You have to do it by your own athletic ability. So if there was a push off that caused a block, then that was a penalty miss. Yes, he did. That was his one tackle. Not illegal if you don't push off or over. Yep, that's exactly what I just said. Man, I got some knowledgeable fans. My picks for week 4 is Cardinals, Lions, Steelers, Chargers, Texans, Falcons, Bills, Buccaneers, Panthers, Jaguars, Rams, Ravens, and Raiders, Cowboys, Dolphins, Broncos. Woo! I have to ask because there's actually a Monday Night Football game coming up soon, with it being the Saints at the Dolphins. Should that be flexed to Tubi? That's an awful Monday Night Football game. We'll have to hear more from Troy Aikman and Joe Buck than we do the game. The scoring will be so low, you could probably count it on one hand for each team. It'll be a 3-2 win, 3-2 win for somebody, or a 2-2 tie. Good Lord. Yes, Will. How about your Panthers taking it to the fail camp? I love it. Yes. Fuck the Packers, Bears, and Vikings. 100%. All right, it's that time. I've gone over all the major statistics. I mean, Amon-Ra had a game. Gibbs had 2 touchdowns. Monty had 2 touchdowns. Dale Cant's fired a bunch of people, as they should. They're awful. Is Raheem Morris one of them? Did he get fired before Mike McDaniels? The first overall pick game, Miami and New Orleans. Okay, how about them Lions? Great game. Let's go, FTP. Well, before you bug out, hold on for about 30 seconds because it's about to get real in here. Yeah, 22 to whatever it was. It was an awful game for a Monday night game. Forward down the field, a charging team that will not yield. For when the blue and silver wave, stand and cheer the brave. Rock, 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 go hard, win this game. With honor you will keep your fame. Down the field and gain a Lions victory. Go Lions! That's right. Just like I do every time we win. Yeah, I think he is our go-to guy. I think it'll be him or Hassanin that ends up the starter. But I did get good news, Omnipo. Davenport is not hurt for long. He will be back in 4 weeks. That's the IR report that came out per Rappaport last night. But it is time for our favorite part of the show, when I do our sponsors. Let's start with last place at 1 and 2. Who could it be? Good Lord, it's acting up. There we go. In last place at 1 and 2. Fuck the Bear. And it's a 3-way tie at 2 and 1. In no particular order. Let's go through it. It's Goldbuck. T. Fuck the Packers. And also at 2 and 1, they just took out a Super Bowl contender. The mighty, mighty Lions. Coming out of Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Oh, you just sold your bike? Yes, it was a great game. Great game. You just missed out on Gridiron Heroes. Hell, I might even sing it again. It was so good. I love it. As you notice, we actually got a logo on the screen today. A Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B. Wood. Woohoo! I got my own frame down here. And don't forget, my review is already posted about this game. If you are one of the ones that follow me on through the South Florida Tribune, I already wrote my review. So our three lowest guys on the team, according to PFF, Carry Arnold at 45.1, Amik Robertson at 38.7, and Brian Branch at a 45.7. You're so bad. Hell yeah. We have to look out for their offensive line. They've been creating a ton of pressure, getting tackles for loss. Yes, it was great to see Sailors and Raymond back there for the kick return. Raymond had a 30-yarder, and Sailors average had 3 for 80, which is 26.7. I'm very happy with that change instead of 21. The Stewart wasn't doing so hot. And there was a couple of times it looked like if Sailors had one more blocker, he was gone. Okay, let's talk about the pressures and sacks breakdown. I think it's a mental thing. I think he's got some, because we've heard it all before, where some people are great at practice and just fall apart in the game. Maybe he needs to be taken aside, shown a little bit more. I don't know. Remember, he was coached a year under AG, and I that was my complaint about him. How many Pro Bowl corners has a Pro Bowl corner coached in his 4-year tender with our team? So I think it's going to take another year before he gets it right myself. Okay, now the first half carry-on was bad. 2 targets, 2 catches allowed for 44 yards. In the second half, 3 targets, 1 catch allowed for 11 yards. That's 55 yards he allowed. Guess who was our lowest rated offensive lineman? Just off the top of your head, who was our lowest rated one? We all know Sewell was the highest. He didn't allow shit. Taylor Decker, 82.9. Tate Ratledge, 91.4. Christian Mahogany at 64. Graham Glasgow, 63.8. And Panay Sewell with the 98.7, almost the perfect 99. So here's our pressure and sack breakdown. Hutchison, 9 pressures, 1.5 sacks. Anzalone, 7 pressures, 1 sack. El-Kadim Muhammad, 5 pressures, 2.5 sacks. Talik, 3 pressures. Barnes, 3 pressures, 1 sack. Nowoski, 2 pressures, 1 sack. Branch, 1 pressure. Jack, 1 pressure, 1 sack. Amik, Lopez, and Reeder, all 1 each. We are second in the NFL in sacks after week 3. 11 sacks this year. The Eagles have 3. That's 30th. But let's talk about how we need a Howie Roseman. We had 30 pressures. 30. And 7 sacks. But the total says 34 when you add all of them. Joseph, Dan Campbell era Detroit Lions exercising demons. Yes, we finally win in Baltimore. So he was targeted 5 times and allowed 3 catches for 55 yards. I didn't get to see that. They brought up that because I know I saw DJ Reed break up 2 passes. I didn't really see what he allowed. But I think it's because we put carry on Zay Flowers, and then once he started making things happen, they started doubling and tripling him. Yes, exactly, Gerdette. Good to see you, my brother from over in Germany. Hey, Kevin, good to see you. Hi, Jeremy. That was an impressive display last night. We're legit Super Bowl contenders. 100%. We are second in the league for sacks with 11 through 3 weeks. But you like your defensive coordinators. It felt like it, didn't it? I can imagine the other contenders saw that game and said something like, "Oh shit." Yeah, I agree. It's amazing. Um, I said week one was an anomaly. I said this was not our team. I said they looked like they weren't communicating well. I said they came out flatter than Travis Kelsey's fiance, that they would turn it around by week two. Did I expect 52 to drop on Chicago? No, I expected a close game, maybe a 10-point win at the most. I did not expect a 31-point beatdown. And if they didn't score that garbage time touchdown with 30 seconds left, guess what? We had a two-score win last night at 38-24, which is what I predicted was a 14-point win. We were 30 seconds away from making it happen. I wanted it so bad. I wanted to have that happen so I could even talk more shit. And while we got the new ones that haven't seen it yet, that's right. I have changed some things here. No, I talked about it. I'm gonna put the banner up for you again. Let me get that banner. Shepard as DC ran a spy on 20% of their offensive plays the versus the Ravens ran. That equaled 4 of our sacks. That was 4 of our sacks. I know. Branch wasn't horrible. He just had bad grade. That penalty was bullshit. But we get one of those bullshit penalties versus Branch every week. The referees did their damnedest to keep that game close. Brian Branch with a chop block and that field goal. Yeah, I know. That field goal pissed me off too. It should be 27. Yeah, I know that DPI was a little weak. We ran a good mix of that. I believe it was 40% zone, 60% man. But at the same time, Terrion Arnold was only targeted 5 times. He allowed 3 catches for 55 yards, 0 touchdowns. That's what they're saying. I'm just going by what they posted. Yes, I did. He is out for 4 weeks. That's it. He will be back in 4 weeks. Ian Rappaport. Yes, more bully ball, please. 100%. I mean, we scored with less than 2 minutes to go again. That was Gibbs' second touchdown, I believe, at the end of that game that he scored. If you're only going to get 67 games, you might as well have 2 touchdowns. I don't care. But think about this 11 sacks. Oh, I know the Chiefs can be had. And yes, Laporta had some big catches too, 100%. Let's look at the offensive stats now. I did the defensive. Our our leading receiver, 7 for 77 yards, 11 yards per catch was one, Mr. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Second for yardage was 43 with Jamison Williams. 2 catches, 21.5 yards per catch. Sam Laporta, 4 catches, 33 yards, 8.2 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 5 catches, 32 yards, 6.4 yards per catch. David Montgomery had a catch for 13 yards. I saw it. I was hoping it would go in. No, I still think we're going to end up possibly 12-5, maybe 13-4 at best. I said 10-12 with a chance at 13, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm not changing it because we do got some tough road tests coming up. But so far, we passed one of the 2 road tests we have. We have 7 more to go. And we saw the Panthers destroy the fail camp. Give credit to Will Vogel's Panthers. Holy crap. I can't believe they did that. The Bears destroyed the Cowboys. The Seahawks destroyed the Saints. Everybody expected that one. The Chargers won at the end of that game. The Bucs held out versus the Jets. The Browns beat the Packers. Yes. 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 Think about this. The Eagles are 30th in sacks right now, and we are number 2 after 3 weeks. The Steelers outlast the Patriots. The Panthers blanked the Falcons 30-0. The Eagles outlast the Rams 33-26. The Commies destroy the Raiders 41-24. The Colts destroy the Titans. Danny Dimes 3-0. Who saw that coming? I predicted it every week. The Jaguars beat the Texans. The Vikings stomped the Bengals 48-10. And Burrow's still out when we play them. They don't have a defense. I know, but they're still on the road. There's still those games on some of those games on the road. I can't wait to have the Cowboys at home. I can't wait. We all thought they were going to beat the Bears, and the Bears stomped a mud hole in that ass. I'm sorry. I'm going to call it like it was. And let's look at the Bills. Their defense is not great. They damn near lost to Dolphins. The Commies, I like that. It's a lot. It's either I'm going to call them the Commies or the Foreskins because they were the Redskins before. They left that name discarded outside the stadium, and it still pisses me off. They should have kept the logo and called themselves the Potomac. Chief Whitefeather, the logo of the old Redskins, was the last chief of the Potomac tribe. He had 2 catches and 43 yards. I just went through the offensive list. 5 catches for Gibbs, 2 catches for Jamo was second in yardage in the receivers with 43 yards. So I'm not going to complain too much. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Dan Snyder was in trouble with the Congress, and the Bleeding Heart side got him to change the name so he'd get a lesser sentence. So all he had to do was sell the team, and it sucked. He was in a ticket scalping scan, hiding ticket money from the football games and disguising it as concerts and events for that field, so he didn't have to share as much revenue. That's what he was being investigated for. Piece of shit. Nick Bosa for the 49ers, out for the season. Torn Achilles. Najee Harris, torn Achilles, out for the season. He's keeping an eye on the team, though. It's on the sideline. Just saying. There were some major injuries that happened, but I did say as soon as I saw this report, yes, on Friday, was it Friday? I saw the report. I gotta get rid of some stuff. Trying to get some stuff so it isn't. Where does the name might get restored? Yes, because it's being voted on. Monty and Gibbs, greatest running back duo at scoring touchdowns in the same game. Yes, and 11 times they've done it now, which is an NFL record. Yep. Here it is. When I saw that injury report, when I saw this yesterday, I said Isaiah Likely is a big blow to the receiving room. But the bigger blow was Matabuke, who was leading the team, and Kyle Van Noy. They were their biggest run defenders and pass rushers. Without them, it was huge, and it was. They had 0 sacks. They had 9 pressures and 5 QB hits. 0 sacks. Yes, we got to, with a 2.5 game lead and where we're at, we at least. Yes, they start out slow like this every year. I've never seen the defense start out this bad. They were okay bad last year, and they got better as it went along, but they've never been ranked 32nd by PFF. They've always been a top 10 defense to maybe top 20 at the worst. I think they were 20th after the 3rd week last year. They're 32nd right now, and we just made them look worse. That's a good possibility. There's very few 1-3 teams that make it. Hey, wait. You did talk a little crap about us, but with Isaiah Likely, Matabuke, and Kyle Van Noy out, I knew that they weren't going to be able to get us. Either Chiefs or Ravens are going to be the 1-3 after. Yep. Just like we knew that one of them would have one win after the Giants and Chiefs played. I wanted it to be the Giants for my buddy Dan Leonard. I voted with my heart for him. But I didn't know that they are not even good on paper. Good Lord, that defense is awful. The offense can't get going. Jackson Dart has been named the starter of the New York Giants going forward. And again, Nick Bosa out for the season for the 49ers. The Bears, was that an anomaly or the Cowboys D suck? I think it's a little of both. I got to see more consistency before I say the Bears are looking to look good. I got to see consistency there. Um, I think even Broski agrees with that. I already did my fake sponsors. I already sang Gridiron Heroes. If you want to hear it again, I'll do it again. And vote in the chat. Say yes if you want to hear Gridiron Heroes one more time. Yeah, it's amazing. It'd be amazing if they had one of the best pass rushers on their team and kept him. Oops, they traded him away. And he's out for 4 weeks. That's the other big injury I saw. But look, even the Jags won last week. Isn't that amazing? Look how cute he is, the little Jaguar. That was CeeDee's ankle in that game. He is out for 4 weeks. Oh, they're 30th in sacks right now. They're winning because the rest of the roster is great, but it isn't because as much because of that defense as everybody thinks. Love the fact I got some love on Facebook from Timothy and Ricky. Ricky. What's wrong with the Texans? They got rid of their best offensive lineman to Washington, and their O-line is softer than marshmallows. But this has been Kneecap Biting with the mighty Motor City Lions. Let's hope we can get that title back now that it's a three-way tie atop the division. One game separates the top to bottom. I kind of said that might happen early in the season. 1-2 for the Bears, 2-1 for everybody else. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.